A few years ago, Jordan Poole was considered the next big thing in the NBA. The third Splash Brother, they used to call him. Warriors fans even thought him to be Steph's successor in the league. Fast forward to 2023, and he's not even on the radar of NBA fans, let alone Warriors fans. So what the heck happened? Hello and welcome back to NBA Swish. Today we're going to discuss how Jordan Poole needs to improve with his new team, the Washington Wizards. And I know what you must be thinking. What caused his performance level to drop so vastly ever since he left the Warriors? Well, stick around till the end as we answer this question and more, as we delve into the intricacies surrounding Poole's journey from a rising star to an NBA afterthought. Now without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get into why and how he's been struggling with the Washington Wizards, let's talk about how amazing he was with the Warriors. I know a lot of Warriors fans know what I'm talking about. We all know how by the end of his third NBA season, 22-year-old Jordan Poole was at the peak of his basketball career. I doubt there was a teenager who started from nothing, was an unknown name when drafted, and rose like he did in the end. Things were so crazy that he was considered one of the most promising young stars in the league back then. It's weird, honestly. Players dream of making it to the NBA, but rarely do they think that they'll be a mainstay despite being one of the first picks in the draft. But Poole was a nobody and had no expectations, yet he delivered big time. Let's talk about his quick ascension before his current downfall. Looking back at the beginning of his NBA journey, Poole's ascent to stardom was a fascinating storyline. I know many of you remember him for his crazy moves, tough finishes, and deep threes like Curry, but honestly, it was always like that. Despite being underestimated, he was penniless in his rookie season. It was a golden opportunity for him to succeed since the team was battling with injuries to Steph, Clay, and Dre. So the rookies had the perfect opportunity for some game time and to impress. Yet, Poole missed his opportunity. To many, it seemed like he had fumbled the ball and will always remain a bench player. However, despite a rough start, Poole's work ethic and determination stood out, earning him praise from the Warriors front office. So while he was criticized outside the court, on the court, he had the respect of his peers and coaches. Steve Kerr openly praised his work ethic and wanted to reward him for his hard work. Kerr's belief in Poole paid off, and after tough, grueling workouts in the offseason, a reborn Jordan Poole showed the world what he was made of. In his second year, Poole broke out as a rising star, and by the end of his third season, he had become a reliable player for the Warriors. Gone were the days where he remained glued to the bench. He was regularly rotated into the first team and quickly became a fan favorite. Fans used to call it a Poole party whenever he started freely scoring, and Poole loved it as well, all smiles while showcasing his magic on the court. Poole was a significant factor behind the Warriors' 2022 championship win, and the team rewarded him with a substantial contract extension, signaling their confidence in his future contributions. The future looked bright for the next big thing with the Warriors. However, things took an unexpected turn. Early into his new contract, Poole's performance could have exceeded expectations, but it regressed after that contract. Besides being an inefficient shooter compared to the previous season, Poole also had become selfish, opting to shoot independently rather than pass it to his teammates, even if they were open. Moreover, Poole's behavior changed after signing his new deal, with occurrences like the infamous punch-up with Draymond Green fueling speculation. His mistakes, field goal percentage, and contested shot percentage all decreased after accepting the considerable contract, raising questions about his dedication. Jordan Poole's ego had inflated much too much, and as the season progressed, it became evident that the investment might not pay off. The Warriors were significantly overpaying for a player who had slowly become a liability on the court, and eventually, the Warriors traded Poole to the Wizards for Chris Paul. I know many Warrior fans were against this trade since Poole, despite his recent selfish plays, was still fondly known as the third Splash Brother, and even with the inflated ego, showed flashes of his crazy talent and clutch mentality. And the fact that they got a veteran player at the end of his career was unacceptable to many players, but honestly, the trade worked in the Warriors' favor. Poole has regressed even more, and Chris Paul has mingled well with his new team. But this begs the question, why has he regressed so much with the Washington Wizards? When the trade was announced, there was a lot of people who thought that Poole could reach new levels since the team would be made around him. People thought he would be the leading player and wouldn't have to play second fiddle to players like Curry and Draymond. His departure from the Warriors was compared to James Harden's move from Oklahoma City to Houston by NBA icon Kevin Garnett. Yeah, even the legendary KG thought Poole would be highly successful successful with the Wizards, and claimed he might even be the new James Harden with high expectations. And as you all know, James Harden exploded after he switched to the Rockets and dropped crazy 50-point triple-doubles for his team. He was unstoppable at scoring, and a bona fide legend at this point. KG reckoned that Poole could even be a top 5 scorer this season. And really, it's no wonder that he accepted the deal with the Wizards, as he had been allowed to be a key player, something he didn't have in Golden State. The reality, however, has been quite different. It's weirdly funny how wrong KG was. He might be a fantastic player, but he got this one absolutely wrong. Poole's performance with the Wizards has yet to live up to the hype. Instead of improving, his numbers have deteriorated, casting doubt on his ability to replicate the form which he had with the Warriors, let alone follow in the footsteps of the legendary James Harden. Overall, his performance has not reached the expected level from 2 years ago. In fact, he's taken steps backwards. And I know a lot of you haven't really been following Poole that much ever since he switched teams. So let me tell you how his performances have taken a step backwards. Ever since he was traded to the Wizards, despite the much higher playing time, Poole's field goal percentage has dipped, and his scoring output has decreased. And that's not all, as his playmaking has also suffered, as evidenced by an increase in turnovers. And the team's overall performance with him on the roster has been disappointing. The Wizards previously had Bradley Beal, who was a fantastic guard. Now, Poole seems like a downgrade. As you've already seen, everything about him has regressed. Even his three-point shooting, once a strength, has declined. And questions about his defensive abilities have also been raised. These struggles and rumored behavioral troubles have created question about Poole's future with the Wizards, leaving fans and pundits wondering if he can reclaim the potential he displayed in his early years. It's wild how this is the same player who was once touted as the successor of Steph Curry, who's possibly the most excellent guard of all time. Just how did this happen? How did he fall so much despite being amazing just a couple of years ago? How is he not performing at his best even though he has all of the minutes and all of the respect he can have with the Wizards? I think one possible explanation for Poole's decline could be a shift in his mindset after securing a lucrative contract. For every player, earning a long-term lucrative contract and being a starter are the ultimate goals. Once you reach that, the burning desire can drop for some players. That must have happened to Poole. The once consistent worker is criticized for a lack of effort and an arrogant demeanor on and off the court. It's pretty sad when you think about it. Ultimately, I'd like to say that Poole's talent as a basketball player remains undeniable. I know it's no excuse, but his downfall appears to be more connected to his ego and mindset than his skill set. One thing is for sure though, with these performances, I doubt he's going to be returning to the Warriors anytime soon. The hope that he might bridge the gap between Golden State's current dynasty and its future seems like a distant afterthought now. Despite all of this, there is still hope for him to reclaim his status as a star player though. You never know, Kevin Garnett might have been right about him all along. The season is still early. He could bounce back one day. We'll just have to wait and watch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.